Hey!
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? All right.
You good?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. How's the crazy world of Dan at the moment?
It's
Crazy world of Arthur Dan.
it's okay.
You're an uphill gardener.
It's
You're the crazy world of Arthur Brown.
I haven't watched it in so long. Oh, I meant to watch that again at some point. It's so fun.
That is the pedo special, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So well non-smashing.
Stairwell non-smashing. Put an end to this roboplegic romcock.
That's it.
Was it almost like a sex offender had like the NHS had given him like a RoboCop exoskeleton or something?
Yeah. What was the one about the paedophile that's fired into space, but then they find out he's up there with like an 8-year-old boy?
Oh yeah, like a tragic mix-up. Put an 8-year-old boy in orbit with a paedophile. Oh, it's so stupid. Amazing. Don't know who these other two bastards are.
I don't know. I don't know whether Duncan can make it. He said he could. He's meant to be on the Jets after this, but he said he might not be able to make that. So I don't know whether he can make this one as well.
Oh, he said he was in this morning.
So we have another one. That's nice.
Tommy T.
Tommy T. Hello. Hello. Can I record myself?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I thought I was going to be proper.
Recording in progress.
No worries.
We're good.
Just send a quick message to Dunks.
Good. Here I am.
Just popping the chest out a little bit.
Look at that. Love to see it.
Give the ladies what they want.
Gone away again. I'm flaccid.
Haha, now I'm with you.
Yeah.
Do I need any additional lighting? Nope.
Bruh.
That was quite bright.
Oh, maybe I don't need it.
Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. If you're joining us on the stream, hello, wave everyone, wave. That is why they're here. They want to wave. And if you're listening to us later on, after the podcast has been edited and put up by our lovely Dan,
Edited,
topped and tailed by our lovely Dan and stuck online. Thank you very much for listening to us with your ears. We're going to be doing a news episode tonight, Dan's favourite format, now Super News.
Super News.
And in that, before we get to that sort of stuff, let's do the introductions. Hello, Russ.
Bonjour.
Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Duncan.
Borada.
Oh, the voice of my homeland, beautiful man. And I am Tom. And we, as I said, are going to be doing a news episode, Dan's favourite format. So with no further ado, Dan.
Let's go. So, first bit of news I present without comment. And I will leave it up to you guys to make decisions on this.
So the viewers.
Yeah. So, this is on...
Yep.
This has been big news in the D&D world, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, there's been a leaked story, and it's annoyed an awful lot of people by the looks of things. So, on the Dexerto website, what is D&D OGL 1.1? This is what I'm not going to read it verbatim. Well, I probably will, but so OGL is the Open Gaming License, and it affects what can be done in the Wizards of the Coast owned Dungeons and Dragons world, and what they can expect in return for people creating their own worlds based on what Dungeons and Dragons have done. What the leaked report is suggesting is that after I will read this bit verbatim. 23 years and controversial announcement of one DMD, Wizards of the Coast is making changes to its open gaming license, aiming allegedly, because it's still not been confirmed yet, aiming to restrict and demand royalties from such companies, small businesses, practically anyone making money off of D&D. While it may just be a leak, many fans are furious as we've put together an explanation of this new AGL and what it means for you as a player. So OGL 1.1 is essentially a way for D&D, for Wizards of the Coast to keep an eye on what's being produced under the banner of Dungeons & Dragons and claim royalty from certain larger businesses making a pride profit. The profit, I think the cut-off point at the moment is £750,000.
Yeah.
This revised license, this is in the leaked documents, this revised license is intended to protect the D&D brand by reducing creator confusion, preventing bad actors from tarnishing it, and preventing large businesses from profiting off without proper checks and balances. Meaning one of the purposes of the document is to essentially keep an eye on what is being published under the D&D name. The proper checks and balances will come in the form of requiring all editors making a profit on their D&D related work, be that $1 or $50,000, to log their profits, product, and obtain a creative product badge for the work as stated on D&D Beyond. This includes anyone making D&D content through Kickstarter, social media, book creations, adventure modules, and all homebrew content being sold. Those earning $750,000 a year will be required to share some of that success with Wizards of the Coast by paying royalty of 20 to 25% of the qualifying revenue they make in excess of $750,000. However, if you're earning under that, then there will be no need to pay, although it is, as stated in the leak, logging your content will grant Wizards of the Coast a non-exclusive, perpetual, irrevocable, worldwide sub-licensable, royalty-free license to use that content for any purpose.
There's
That's
also
So what's this? What are the nerds all upset about?
well, there's also the fact that if anyone
You
makes
dick.
anything for not even if it's non-commercial
Yeah.
and they've made it and it's somewhere like online or like available, then Wizards of the Coast own it and they can use it to make money from it.
They don't
So
own it.
if you essentially if you homebrew something on D&D Beyond and you've saved it and shared it on D&D Beyond and it's free and it's because you've done it because you just created it as non-commercial. Say you created something like a Dire Penguin, which is fucking awesome.
Fucking don't say it out loud.
Dire Penguins were already on homebrew in D&D Beyond.
This is a pretty common arrangement. This is more or less how Unreal works, isn't it? You can kind of use it for
Unreal,
free
you're
until you make
making-
enough money.
You're making actual games though that make money using an engine, and then who's it who make Unreal?
Epic?
It maybe.
I think I can't remember.
Epic.
I thought Epic was the other one.
No, they're the other
everyone
one, aren't
uses.
they?
Yeah,
But it's a fairly common
It's the same.
system.
it's-
And like, I understand
but
why
then-
people would be pissed, but also kind of fair enough. Come up with your own
No.
game system.
Oh, I'm trying to stay neutral on this. No, like it's so okay. So you make a game on what's the fucking Epic one called? Whatever it is. Well, in this
Unity.
instance, Unreal. Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
That's Unity.
You make a game on Unity. You are using free to use software in the first place. Unity Epic don't own that game though.
I was going to say it is Epic.
It's
yeah.
broadly
Epic,
similar.
yeah.
You start to. I think this is probably one of those things where it might get a bit watered down because that blanket,
It's-
just if you ever do anything, we own it. That's objectionable. But
Yeah.
also, this could be something that people have got the wrong end of the stick with a bit.
Well, that's
not
why
being
the
legal
Unreal
experts.
comparison is quite good, but also a little problematic because surely you license the game engine, whereas this sounds like you're effectively you're paying royalties, which is a different thing. A royalty is something you pay almost as a tribute because you've used an IP, and if you're earning over a set amount of money, they are able to take a cut of what it is almost as a tax. Whereas with the Unreal Engine, you purchase the license to use it to create the game, and it's almost like a subscription almost. You're sort of like going, well, I will pay
Like,
to you.
but
Wizards
Unity
taking a cut
is-
if you're making a shitload of money out of their product. It's fair enough.
I don't know. I'm
Why not?
on board with it at all.
If
Why
you
not?
if you
Because
come
you're
up with
already
something and
paying.
then somebody else is using that to make money,
Your license
What's the
is when you buy the books, when you're buying whatever it is you need to buy on D&D Beyond.
yeah, but that's a
then
license.
create your own final
That's allowing you to play it, not to resell it and make money out of it.
But if literally all you're using is a game system, it is exactly the same as Unity. I think they're well within their rights to do it, but I also think it's probably going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, especially considering the popularity of D&D is almost entirely based on the fact how easy it is to use and how easy it is to set up your own homebrew. So when you
But
start,
also just like looking realistically, there is no
It's-
way
nothing's
that
gonna-
everyone who's published their own homebrew spell on some forum is going to get chased down for licensing.
That's
well,
why
I
they-
will be
that's why
keeping an
they
eye
have
out
the,
in D&D Beyond if
that's-
Love Dan comes up as a 5th level spell. on
That's
there.
why they put in place that earning threshold, isn't it? Because it's like it's only if you're making money, if you're selling this thing.
They don't really
Okay.
give a shit. It's
No,
probably
it's only
more
if
to
you-
cover them. Also, it'll be people doing horrible, weird stuff. Because, like, I bet you can look out there and there are some things that have been put together using their rule set that are not things they would want associated
They
with
Okay, so,
actually-
so what,
that's
we
the-
just stop making horror films now as well because it's horrible.
No, not like they're,
it's-
like if
it's
you
not-
looked.
it's not-
I'm not saying I've seen anything like this, but if I bet because it's
Right.
the internet, if you
Yeah.
looked, you would find like, as an example, some horrific right-wing ideology themed spells. I bet that's out
Yeah.
there somewhere. So it's a way of them being able to distance themselves to that sort of thing.
You should be able to, if it's
Okay.
being put on D&D Beyond, you should still be able to take that down, whether you own any kinds of licensing towards it anyway. or not.
So
But
as
it's
soon
not,
as you
they're
put
not
it
talking about
basically,
just D&D Beyond, are they? They're talking about any
yeah,
anywhere you put if you just put it on your own website. Or whatever.
they essentially what they've done with the 1.1 is the original. I know I've got it here that the original OGL was something like 900 words long. It wasn't very. It was.
Wasn't this back when Wizards of the Coast was like two guys in a garage somewhere? Making
No,
up
this
as
was
they
in
went along?
2000.
Yeah, this is fairly
The original, so the original document in 2000 was 900 words. The new draft is over 9,000 words long. So it addresses new technologies like blockchain, NFTs, and takes a strong stance against. So the good thing is, it does actually say that the OGL is based on any use of making any use of the SRD. Which I always thought was standard rules, but anyway, it means something else. I learned something a lot whilst reading up about this. So they do that. The The new OGL does take a strong stance against bigoted content, explicitly stating the company may terminate the agreement if third-party creators publish material that is blatantly racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted, or otherwise discriminatory.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So
But
it's giving them a way
that's going to
of
be on
not having
any
that associated with
website
it.
where there's content. That's not just going to be. That's not down to D&D Beyond to police that. That's down to individual websites to police that.
No, so that's not the point. The point is that they have a way, if something gets into the news or whatever and is negatively impacting their reputation, they can say, no, you're not allowed to do that, license rescinded. And then they have separated themselves entirely from any liability and any reputational damage caused by this nonsense. So it's a pretty standard kind of safeguarding tactic.
It's also the 6th step of the Dennis system.
Yeah. Separate
So
entirely
it's-
from
So,
objectionable
so
content.
here's another quote. The OGL wasn't intended to fund major competitors, and it wasn't intended to allow people to make D&D apps, videos, or anything other than printed or printable materials for use while gaming. So essentially, it's going to stop people making any form of money from podcasts, unless, and there is a caveat here, unless this, and this is from the leaked document, that if you get something like tips or the podcast is Patreon, as long as the podcast still is available free, it is still considered non-commercial. So if you're doing a D&D podcast, and as long as you're on Patreon, as long as you've got essentially the podcast is free elsewhere, then you won't meet this criteria. The other weird thing and slightly bullshit is that there are 2 different royalties. So yes, if you're earning, it's only all the money over the 750k mark that would get charged royalty. So if you're doing $750,001, it's that $1 that would be, you would have to give Wizard of the Coast 25 cents. If you're doing a Kickstarter, if you're doing a crowdfunder, and you earn all the monies from the crowdfunder, and you earn over, and your crowdfunder raise is over 750,000. If you're using any other crowdfunding app platform other than
Apart from
Kickstarter,
yeah.
you will be charged 25%. If you're using Kickstarter, 20%, motherfuckers. So
It's all well and good.
that's not Kickstarter's fault. That was apparently D&D going to Kickstarter, and the original OGL does also stipulate that you can't use Dungeons and Dragons or D&D or something if in your third-party content creation. If it's compatible, you just sort of have to change some words around. That's about it. But this is definitely a tightening. The aim was a tightening up, and they might have gone a bit too far because it's registering all current and previous content.
It kind of makes sense
So,
in the view
yeah.
of what they're doing, like bringing things like D&D Beyond in. They're kind of consolidating everything together a bit, aren't they? They wanna
So we're a
obviously
year
take
away
better
from loot
control.
boxes. We're a year away from having to pay £5 for a magic item.
That won't happen. That won't happen.
I'll bet money.
No, it won't, because they're not complete idiots. I really doubt that will happen. You know, you might like you buy modules and books and things. I don't think that's really going to change.
I hope not, because I think the difference between D&D and say something like Games Workshop or even video games is that part of the reason it was so popular was that literally anyone could get on during a pandemic, especially. It went up like popularity by like 70%. 70% more people playing D&D than they were before the start of the pandemic. And part of the popularity of it was how easy it was to just play the game. So I think whether this is a standard practice or not, I think what you're losing is some of the goodwill that you get from just being able to just play a D&D game.
There's more. And so the updated license only allows for creation of role-playing games and supplements in printed media and static electronic file formats. They are basically wanting to cut down on people sharing PDFs. It does not allow for anything else, including but not limited to things like videos, virtual tabletops or VTT campaigns, computer games, novels, apps, graphics novels, music, songs, dances, and pantomimes. You may engage in these activities only to the extent allowed under the Wizard of the Coast fan content policy or separately agreed to between you and us. The fan content policy can be read here, but in broad strokes, it allows for free content based on or incorporating our IP. Fan content includes fan art, videos, podcasts, blogs, websites, streaming content, tattoos, altars to your cleric's deity, etc. That means, essentially you can't. I mean, obviously monetizing those are a bit difficult, but virtual tabletops means.
Yeah, so we'll see Roll20 stop doing any kind of D&D content. We'll see Foundry stop doing any D&D content. They're going to be priced out of the market simply so it funnels you to this one thing that they want to do with
Yeah.
it. Like it is all heading towards the whole one D&D banner, where that's the only place you'll be able to play D&D online. No,
Or Roll20 is you have to buy everything. Yeah, I mean,
you have to buy most things on Roll20 anyway, but and you don't get like a Roll20 code when you buy a book or anything. It's because they're a third party, but you can obviously buy a D&D book in Roll20 form, and I imagine that becomes like quite a bit more difficult in the coming weeks, months, years most likely, actually, to be fair.
It's one of those classic things, isn't it, where a big company that owns a thing that we love exerts a sort of almost territorial and almost kind of it feels overtly aggressive at points. Do you know what I mean by that? And I'm not suddenly sort of going, right, well, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to clamp it down. This is what's going to happen. This is what we're planning to bring in. And it's almost like, because D&D is such an active community where creativity is encouraged, I think there's almost that kind of well-deserved, I think, sort of church mouse syndrome, which is I've created little bits of this, therefore I own a little bit of this. And actually it feels like then the people who created the thing in the first place, them exerting almost like a corporate level of commercial control over it, it's always going to get people's backs up, and it's always going to feel like you say, Dan, I think you've got it absolutely right. It's that goodwill. People will still play D&D, but it might besmirch their sort of love for the people who created it for a little bit until the fog clears a bit.
I think one of the things that's going to happen is you'll find people that are currently playing will now start looking at different systems, potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
And it's kind of a shame, but it also it's the good thing is it means people actually get to go and find the system that suits them best. Like D&D is so easy to pick up and play. Literally just need a player's handbook and DM's guide, and you're away pretty much. And the rest can be all in your imagination. And admittedly, the other games are as well. Pathfinder's pretty easy to play, and there's always offers on Pathfinder books and PDFs and whatnot. But it's sure. I mean, there's their company; they can do what they want with it. But when you see companies like Kobold Press, who are a third party D&D publisher, saying, "All right, we're going to make our own system," then I dare say you'll start seeing that a lot more from companies. I wonder even if Critical Role, for example, have been very quiet on this matter because they're set to have to pay an absolute fortune to D&D at this point. So I wonder,
what is on that front, I think, depending when, even included in the leaked OGL stuff, is also that D&D would look to the bigger ones to make specific agreements, license agreements, and that is probably going to happen with Critical Role. That's probably why they're a bit. I know Matt Mercer has liked everything criticizing this, which is fair enough. But I suspect they'll try and reach a license agreement.
The backlash has been pretty massive, so I do genuinely think they haven't actually released a statement about it yet. So I'd imagine they're being
this is
very
presumably like
careful
some
with
draft version that's been.
Yeah, this was actually meant to be published apparently on the 4th of January, and give everyone until the 13th of January to sign up to it, basically agree to it, change their business models. and everything. Otherwise, but personally, I think if they tried to do that, and the way that they've worded some of it is worded so shit that it's like you do realize you're about to completely bankrupt yourselves with the amount of admin that you've just got about to give yourselves.
Well, there was
And
also
they forget that admin is absolutely killer. There'll be huge backlogs, and that will just create even more bad taste. And people will just go, well, fuck it. I know Games Workshop has survived, but Games Workshop is a completely different model.
That was one of my favourite memes. Have you seen that one?
Yeah,
which is the oh, Games Workshop, what are you doing? I'm right here. It goes, oh, sorry, Forza Habit. Just
the thing is though, it almost smacks of like the commercial kind of gaff, like OnlyFans announcing we're going to be removing all adult content and stopping adult content creators from using our platform, which after the backlash from basically everyone on OnlyFans creating adult content, which is a significant percentage, they were going, well, we're going to lose all of our income, and you're going to lose any share of the revenue that you were getting from the millions of people creating adult content on your platform. So, all right, fine, see you later. But you know, you're idiots, and even they must have, on the back of a fag packet, done some maths after announcing that and gone, yeah, do you know what? Actually, yeah, thinking about all those millions we'd be screwing ourselves out of, considering our platform is mostly known for the pornographic and adult content we have here. We'll probably just let them do it. I would imagine that this is probably what will happen with this. It will seem like a good idea at the time, but when they realize that almost not so much punishing, but coming down hard on people who take a good idea and evolve it for their own, for their own use and own personal gain, is a bit harsh, considering you're still earning loads of revenue from your own creation anyway. You know, how much more money do you need? It's not like it's like Jay Leno doing the Doritos commercials. How much more fucking money did you need? You're already
so specific.
Yeah, but it's like, but that's the point. It's what Bill Hicks used to throw it back in his face all the time. You know, God rest his soul. He would always say like Jay Leno doing fucking Doritos commercials is ridiculous. It's like fucking seeing Kiefer Sutherland doing the trading app adverts on YouTube all the time. How much more money do you need that you're doing this? You know, it's
he probably does need a bit of money. I bet there's
yeah, maybe. I mean, if it was Chevy Chase, then it'd be like, fair enough, man. You can do whatever, do whatever you want and get as much money as you want. Fair dues. But like, it's again like Ewan McGregor doing perfume commercials and stuff like that. The dude doesn't need any more money. He's just doing it because you know what I mean. You get the point I'm trying to make. It just it does. It feels a bit mercenary.
I do. If it is just about the money, it's a bit cack-handed way of doing it. As one of my favourite Twitters, the Red Worm and Red Wormling they just said, well, hang on. So this guy who plays Dungeons and Dragons with his son and others. He just put it's always conversations with the 6-year-old DM. So they
I love
just want
this.
more. Yes, they are a toy company because of course WOTC are owned by Hasbro. They should make a bunch of things people want to buy instead of doing this. Beholder beach balls, Presto costumes, Vecna action figures, Mind Flayer hats, that kind of thing. I was like, yeah, actually that is a better way. People would snaffle that up because third-party creators are already doing some of that, and you're about to try and stifle that as well. Why not just do that? Let everything else continue.
It feels like this is very similar to what a lot of video game companies have done and regretted. Like a lot of the time, and this feels like a lot like Nintendo, charging streamers to play their games for free advertising, basically. Like it's that sort of thing for me. It's they can do what they want with their company, but they can. I wouldn't aggravate the tabletop gamer too much. Is all I'd say. It's one of those things that cool. Well, I can do everything I wanted in this game actually, so I'm going to go do that now. But thanks. That sort of thing, and it's one of those things that D&D is a great fun game that is so easy to pick up, and you can just play for years and years. Because I mean, we've been playing our campaign for nearly 4 years now.
Yeah,
Jesus,
we've barely
really?
achieved anything.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
3 years.
The last year's been walking down a road, pretty much. But it's
It has, hasn't it?
pretty much.
Very much.
But
It's a very long
Froggy
road.
Moss.
it's one of those things that's like it's as complex as you make it, and the amount of money I've spent on D&D is pretty vast in terms of whether it's like books, it's mostly books to be fair, or anything on D&D Beyond, or any kind of royalties that they get from Roll20, because I dare say they have to get something even for Roll20 to have the books on there. And it's one of those things that if D&D was a bit more expensive to actually get into, which if you put this in place, then it becomes more expensive. I probably don't bother, and I'll probably go and play Games Workshop. Because that's what I've known since I was a kid. If that makes any sense. So I think honestly, storm in a teacup, because I think what has actually happened here is that someone's leaked something and they've gone, whoa, okay, we might need to back down a bit on this.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
might
whether
need
that
to.
happened, yeah.
We might need to. Just a bit.
Jack says, I just want the lawyer fight between Hasbro and Disney because of KOTOR using OGL. Hasbro's lawyers versus the little third-party publishers will be negligible compared to Disney versus Hasbro.
Yeah, true.
Like, and Hasbro, come on, can we not get some fucking Transformers D&D?
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Let's just do it, all right?
I'm sure that exists
5
somewhere.
Eagles. Oh, it's probably been made by someone, but, you know, Wizards of the Coast will just acquire it now.
Well, that was a divisive news story, I think.
I genuinely think nothing's going to happen from this. That would be my guess. Like, I think, who knows, maybe a couple of years down the line. For me, it reeks of always online, or as you say, OnlyFans stopping porn.
I think it will happen in some form, because it makes so much sense with the way that they're moving and trying to develop it, and obviously with Hasbro being involved. But I don't think it's not going to be as bad as the Doommongers are saying.
No. But
Like, they're not really going to be interested in anyone making under, I think was it $50,000 is the
I mean,
cut-off for when you have to
you
report
say
your
But they-
Doommongers,
they say
this is
they-
a leaked document.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that they have actually said. This isn't Doommonger. This is people just seeing the words that have allegedly been written by Wizards of the Coast, if it's true.
Yeah. But basically, unless you're stealing something or making more than $50,000, it doesn't really stop you doing anything.
No, it's actually
they own
even
your
under.
property.
So they want everyone. It doesn't matter.
No,
They've
but so
got
they
three
only
tiers.
have that we own it bullshit
No, even
for
commercial.
people that have reported their earnings, don't they?
Do you
Which
know
is
how
only people
difficult
over
it's gonna
50
be?
grand.
No, but as in, like, if you do anything on D&D Beyond, and when one D&D kicks in, from what it looks like at least, it's probably going to be very difficult to do anything other than use D&D Beyond. Then they own it.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
like-
that does suck. But then that's also no different to the fact that Meta own every photo you've ever put on Instagram or Facebook and things like that.
Yeah, but Meta can't get any use from any of the photos.
They
I've put
can.
on
They can
Facebook
take your
'cause they're all
photo and they
shit.
can use them in advertising without even telling you. They can.
I don't
They
like
can
the sound
and
of
have
them
done.
apples.
Okay, but it's a bit different from someone spending years writing a campaign and
Oh,
then
yeah,
just seeing
yeah.
it being released as.
I know, like for
content.
some people, obviously, it's absolutely going to suck. No doubt about it. But I also don't think they're doing anything truly awful here. Bear in mind that it's their thing that they own.
The thing is, the 50,000 is a kind of a weird arbitrary thing. I don't really understand that. There's
It's kind of the
even if-
cut-off for if you're making
no.
this much money or above, this is when we start caring.
they want anyone making stuff for money, whether it's
Yeah.
50,000 or not, to report it.
Yeah.
You only have to
That's the
report
thing.
your earnings if you're making over 50,000.
Yeah, but you have to report your.
I can't.
Oh,
so
hang on.
that I cannot believe that is correct because, like you say, they would need tens of thousands of admin
Right.
people
The revenue tiers are as
processing
follows.
all this
Initiate.
nonsense.
initiate tier. If you have registered at least one licensed work but haven't generated $50,000 or more in total gross revenue from OGL commercial products in a given year, you are at the initiate tier. So note that if you
Yes, that's saying if you have registered something. So presumably if you've created it on one of their owned platforms like D&D
yeah,
Beyond.
but this is in terms of, it doesn't matter if you're creating something for commercial content. You have to thingy it, register it. If your license works have generated
Yeah, so if you've
more
just
than,
put something out free, you don't have to.
no, but if you put something out free, then they also can just like as you say, like Meta can use your photos willy-nilly.
By the way, Meta using our photos isn't a good thing either.
No.
Like, that's not a good thing. That's not like something that shouldn't be acceptable.
It's just it's trade-off, isn't it? If you want to use these
It's
tools,
true.
you've got to put up with this bullshit.
It's true, but it shouldn't be acceptable. And I think what's annoying is that it's just another thing that's kind of going the way of, well, that was our own little corner of the universe that we'd created. And all of a sudden now, even if it was never personal, even if they could always use your information, even if they could always do something with it on D&D Beyond, part of the fun of it is this is such a personal thing to me. I'm using like Wildmount as a campaign base in 2 D&D campaigns now, and even that I've made it my own. Like, I've made, as a DM, I've made that my own. And if I saw, as Duncan says, if and Dire Penguins is a terrible example, Jack will know Sky Sharks as another potential example. But like, if I see something that looks exactly like something I created, and it's just being used without ever being mentioned to me, that would annoy me a bit. And it's just also frustrating because it feels like they had the goose that laid the golden egg. They had something that was making a ton of money. D&D makes a ton of money. But now they're just trying to push it and push it and push it. And at some point, people will react. That's what it feels like. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I absolutely love it. And I say I don't think anything's actually going to happen after all this. But it's one of those things that it's like, well, this is. I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine anyway. But yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Like, they haven't made a statement yet, even. So yeah, it doesn't actually mean anything. But yeah.
We'll have to see what it actually ends up like.
I would imagine we get the heavily Vaseline version of whatever it ends up as. Like, it might be something along the lines of like of what they've stated it actually is, without, like, in the initial opening statement, which is probably okay, because like, I'd rather not have like hate-filled right-wing D&D campaigns out there. But I don't know, we'll wait and see. Like, the Kobold Press leaving D&D is pretty huge, by the way. That they make a ton of D&D books, so that's pretty massive. And I think we'll probably see, making a statement like that and just say, nah, we're off. It's very hard to turn around and say, you know what, we're back. Because all of a sudden then it looks like you're kind of doing it for the money. So interesting. As I say, I think we'll see. There's more movement to happen over this, and probably more even by the time we've even finished this podcast. So who knows?
Cool.
Let's just rattle through some other news.
Yes.
That's the Wizards of the Coast news. Yeah. I say it's probably going to be fine. It's probably going to be absolutely fine. Okay. That is what we've just been talking about. That is my emails. Albert Wesker is returning to Resident Evil 4.
I mean, the sort of plot and characters of the Resident Evil universe make bugger all sense. So sure, why not?
So
he's
why wouldn't you
the
hang
he's
around
the
the
like
Spanish
Val
village?
Kilmer looking dude, isn't he?
Yeah. Working for the Umbrella Corporation and would go on to appear in many Resident Evil games. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be like in Resident Evil 4. I already thought he was in Resident Evil 4, but I must be mistaken.
Wesker.
He is. He's like he's not in it in it,
Yeah.
but he's talking to Ada Wong on the phone, I think.
Hmm.
He's not
He's
the guy you
always in-
fight whose arm goes all big, is he?
No, that's the
That's the doctor. That's the creator, isn't it?
Krauser.
Krause. Yeah, I think like the military
Yeah.
guy, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you spent more money on Resident Evil 4 or D&D, Dan? Little of Exhibit A. The answer to that question is yes. I think I've spent money on both those things, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. And I can't wait to spend more money on both those things. So, yeah. So I think Krause is the guy that turns a bit gribbly. But I thought Wesker was in it as well. I must be mistaken because everyone's banging on about how Wesker's going to be in. It's going to be.
He's
awesome.
always like portrayed as this. I mean, over Resident Evil 5 and 6, he was certainly sort of the big bad behind the scene, wasn't he?
Yeah, evil
And in
Neo.
fact, in number 6, he was very much. I think he was killed in number 6.
Yeah.
I mean, killed.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where like
Commas.
people dying in Resident Evil doesn't really sort of mean much
No,
because it
means
turns out
very
that
little.
you're a clone or a robot or something.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm pretty certain Wesker is definitely a clone in one of these at least. So,
Yeah.
Really
much so.
3 games coming to Game Pass this month:
Ooh, which ones?
Monster Hunter Rise,
Uh-huh.
Persona 3, and Persona 4.
Okay.
They're games.
Monster Hunter is
Names.
meant to be very good if you're into that sort of
Yeah, I know. I think Jack liked it. You can comment on that, Jack. D&D TV show ordered by Paramount Plus.
Oh yes.
thing. Yeah, sort of.
Really-
This is
They're
interesting.
really,
So
really going for it.
they've cut back on some video games that they had in the pipeline, but they seem to be opening up more into TV stuff. So
Yeah.
be interesting. Still have to see how the film turns out.
Yeah. Brilliant. New Forza Horizon update has bad news for the future of series. A new update out of Playground Games, some bad news for Forza Horizon fans. Forza Horizon series, this is on comicbook.com by the way, is arguably the greatest racing game series in the modern era, and it is the greatest racing game series in the modern era. There's no arguing about it. And one of the best series Xbox has made. It's been consistently high quality. So, who's leaving the studio? Well, someone's leaving the studio basically. Mike Brown, Tom Butcher, lead product designers, etc. Hopefully it'll still be good. If not, we've had 5 incredible Forza Horizon games. So,
A better racing game than Mario Kart.
yeah,
Better racing game than Muppets.
bring it.
Than Micro Machines.
Yes, better than both those. Yeah, Forza Horizon.
You have to
Forza
think, though.
Horizon. Yeah, no. Well, you brought up the game that makes
The
me
game.
think of these things. Oh, the game bollocks. Sorry, guys, I've just lost the game.
Oh, not the game.
And I'm sorry, everyone there. Forza Horizon is like the pinnacle of like serious racing game combined with really, really silly racing game as well. So it
Yeah.
is perfectly in the middle and it's open world. It's awesome. So hopefully the next Forza Horizon 6, I'm sure will still be good. I'm sure there's enough people there that
Do we
know how
know?
to make
Do we
the
know
games.
where it's due to be the next one?
So where have we had so far? We've had
Australia,
the UK,
UK,
Australia, Mexico, Europe, right? Have we had America yet?
Mexico. Can't remember.
Was the first one in America? I get the feeling the first one was like Colorado, wasn't it? So
Colorado.
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 Have we had Japan yet?
But for
Like-
Forza.
Yeah, because that'd be fucking awesome, right? That's like ton of drifting, that kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know. Jack says Monster Hunter is great. It's like the Souls game, but not for elitist bellends.
Easy. Easy.
First one
there.
was in Colorado. Second one was in France and Italy.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon
Third one was in Australia.
3 was Australia. 4 was UK.
4 was
5
UK.
is Mexico.
People who can hack Dark Souls are not.
Don't do this, Tom.
elitists. We're not elitist bellends.
You're sounding very much like, oh, you see, no, NFTs are actually good. You just don't understand it.
I'm not going to bite.
Could you 3D print yourself an NFT? I think you might actually explode.
Yeah. That would be amazing. I mean, to be honest, actually, just touching back to the D&D story at the very beginning, it might also be targeting companies that, that 3D print, sort of tile placements and things like that, for big tabletops as well, like stopping people from creating these. And
that's GW's area of expertise. The one thing about D&D is like you're kind of creating your own world, so you can create as many tiles as you like, I suppose, as long as they don't like have like the entire layout of Wizards of the Coast offices on them.
Because it just so happens I have that right here.
That was the one I really wanted. Yeah. But like if you print like a single tile from like Warhammer Quest or something, then like suddenly
Find it for me.
you get raided by paladins with blue flashing lights.
Yeah.
Come at me, bro. Come at me.
Ant-Man 3 trailer dropped.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool.
It does, yeah. We got MODOK,
I'm just
which is exciting.
praying for
Yeah.
a decent Marvel film to come out.
Black Panther.
But the recent ones haven't been great.
No, but Black Panther redeems them all. Black Panther's really good.
Is that right? Yeah, I didn't enjoy Black Widow that much. I thought it was good, but it was definitely
enjoyed-
not.
Black Widow, right up until Ray Winston opened his mouth.
Yeah,
Like, I was
Black
enjoying
Widow,
that film.
Black Widow was
Yeah.
fun, but a bit patchy. I'm a bit of a Doctor Strange apologist. I quite enjoyed that
What?
Multiverse of Madness.
I didn't like. I think that. So the thing I'll say to you, what I said on the Marvel and Marvel podcast, which is up by the way, you should go listen to it.
Listen to it now with your ears, and yeah,
I liked how it looked. I think it was visually stunning, and the scary bits were really scary, and they did Scarlet Witch really well. I thought the script was utter shit. I thought just
Yeah,
in
a lot-
general,
like
yeah,
America Chavez was not a character.
no,
She could have been a little glowing box that could open portals, and it wouldn't have made any
Basically.
difference to the film. So that was a bit
and there
of
was a
shame.
lot of heavy breathing. Doctor Strange talking in between breaths.
Yeah, but
to
that
make
just
it
gets
sound
you
more
horny, so that's fine.
Serious.
And it had
was-
some pretty metal moments, like him
I hate the soundtrack as well, by the way.
flying his own possessed corpse on wings made out of the souls of the damned. That's a
see,
pretty
that
cool
looked-
moment.
That looked fucking. As I say, the visuals were fucking awesome. Yeah, it was still better than Thor: Love and Thunder, though.
I was going to say, can we agree that most of these films, even if we didn't like them that much, even Black Widow was better than Love and Thunder?
I think you've got to see Thor: Love and Thunder as basically an improv comedy movie. So you're like, oh yeah, we know the characters wouldn't do this, but this is more funny.
I
It wasn't
see it.
funny. It wasn't that funny.
There are some funny. There are funny bits in it. I quite enjoyed that as well. Maybe my standards are just slipping.
Hey, yes.
Okay, Jack.
Personally, my favourite recent Marvel property was the one where the main villain has an understandable issue and then decides the best way to resolve it was to kill everyone.
Welcome to every comic villain ever. Ever. DC, Marvel, any property, what you've described is a relatable villain in pretty much everything that was pushed too far. Because at some point they all have to be pushed too far. Fucking even what's his face? Syndrome from fucking Incredibles. That's the same thing. Like that's just every comic villain. I can't help you.
Dan, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Was it Wheater bitch?
Tears.
That
Rest
is
in the
nice.
fan.
I'm gonna take that. Oh, somebody's had their weed a bitch this morning.
Weed a bitch. Oh, I missed that.
Wheater
Sorry.
bitch.
Oh, I like that. That's quite
Excellent.
good. Here's a list of every video game, movie, and TV show in adaptation in development. We've got
Christ
The Last
almighty.
of Us. We've got the
Love it.
Gran Turismo movie, TV show, which I'm really looking forward to.
I thought it was a film.
Is it a film? I don't give a fuck. That's gonna be rubbish, isn't it?
What service
How
do you
do you
have to
turn
get
Gran
to watch
Turismo?
Last of
Huh?
Us?
Neil Blomkamp's making the Gran Turismo movie.
Is he?
Yeah, but like there was some footage post of it, and it just looks exactly like Gran Turismo, which is I mean, sure, that's fine, but I don't really see how it's going to be entertaining as a movie. But
There's
mean-
a Tomb Raider anime coming up.
All right. Well, that will get some people spaffing.
Borderlands movie.
The Last of Us is sounding like it might actually be a good thing made out of a game.
It's getting some really good reviews.
What is The Last of
The
Us?
Last of Us,
yeah.
and I think broadly because it sounds like they've basically ditched everything from the game and just written what would work well as a TV show, which is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
Plus,
I've literally just a video
I
just
think-
started saying HBO's The Last of Us is literally the most faithful adaptation of any video game we've seen. Like, okay.
but that's the point, isn't it? And I love it because they're using the right word. It's an adaptation.
Yeah.
Like, it is an adaptation, and
Shouldn't be a
lot of-
recreation.
a lot of people forget that actually the period of time that the first Last of Us, for example, is set over is about 10 to 12 months, isn't it? That it takes Joel and Ellie about 10 to 12 months to make their way from the Boston safe zone to Salt Lake City, which is where the Fireflies are based. And you meet up with them actually only at like 4 intervals of those journeys, and each interval that you're with them when you come back to them, like you meet them in, I can't remember whether it is, I think it's summer, autumn, winter, and spring. And you only meet them for a couple of days or a few days at these little intervals. Like there's a whole, there's months of the story that you never see in those games. And so they have so much time between that they can dip into and just create new stories, just new things that they might have done or people they might have met. It's excellent. It's so rich. Like they don't have to stick slavishly to what was in the video game. They can touch on events and then cover other bits.
No, that's what I want though. I just want the video game.
If you want to just fucking, I mean, that's the thing. Like I would say
Pedro
to this,
Pascal doesn't look like him.
I would say this
That's
to
not
the
right.
angry nerds, like who are coming to kill us or something. Like,
Bring it.
if you want to watch the movie, if you want to watch a movie of the game, just play the game because the game is a movie. Like
Yeah.
that you play through, it's just like just do that
Yeah.
and shut up. Like let these people show you their work of art that they've based and adapted from one of your favorite games. And if you don't like it, fine. But there are going to be plenty of people who do, and it might actually even get more people to play the game that you love so much. So,
But they
You know
won't
what?
play it right, Todd.
They won't
They
play
won't
it
play
right.
it right.
They won't play it right. They won't scavenge. It's about scavenging.
twats.
Jack just hit me with a sorry, down. Let me just call your ambulance. Fair play. Fair play. I'll take that. A Borderlands movie. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I reckon this is going to be shit.
It's
Difficult
Hollywood
tone
seems
to
to be,
nail.
seem to be loving their quirky, edgy comedy and turning it into something awful. So a quirky, edgy comedy video game will only be able to be turned into something awful.
Right, so I'm gonna get this wrong, but this is for content. Isn't Borderlands basically like Mad Max?
Kind of, it's fun Mad Max.
Yeah,
But
it's
everyone's
sort of Mad
dying, but
Max
they're
in
having a good
space.
time doing it, yeah.
It's less bleak.
It is.
So
Yeah.
this is going to be, the film is basically going to be a National Lampoon's, an attempt at the National Lampoon's version of Mad Max.
I mean,
I mean, that's that's what I imagine.
imagine like Jackass set in like Mad Max. There you go.
Isn't that
Yeah,
what
that's
Jackass
nice.
is anyway?
Yeah,
sometimes?
but like if it was like set in like the Mad Max, that's pretty much Borderlands.
Okay.
And it's gonna be like have loads of really like annoying in jokes like, oh, I've just got some loot and I've got a new gun. There are so many different guns here, that kind of thing. Because the guy from Epic was there the whole time, like while they were filming it.
Yeah.
Don't need that. The only thing I'm kind of on board with isn't Jack Black playing Claptrap.
Jack Black
Claptrap, yeah.
Claptrap.
I'm kind of in on that. That I kind of love. But
I mean, he can't be any less annoying. Well, he can't be any more annoying in that than he is in The Holiday. He's probably the most annoying character in that whole film.
I'm going to say what I said when we ranked them. The Holiday's not a very good movie.
Scroodly boot doo, scroodly fruitily boot doo. Oh, we both said fruitily.
We've got a Twisted Metal TV series coming. We've got a Fallout TV series coming.
I mean, I'm as a big fan of that series, I'm quite excited to see what they do with that. Although it is, like you say, another post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
world. Would
We've
be
got Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, crap.
We've got a God of War TV series coming. We've got a Death Stranding movie.
Oh, no.
We've got a Gears of War TV series coming.
Oh, yeah, I heard
We've got a
about that.
Return to Silent Hill. We've got the Netflix's BioShock movie.
Okay.
Live action Pokemon, Alan Wake TV series, Metal Gear Solid movie, Assassin's Creed anime and live action TV series, Ghost of Tsushima movie. It Takes Two, really? They're doing that? A Horizon Zero Dawn TV series.
Will that be procedurally generated too?
Yeah, Sifu movie, Days Gone movie, Comics Zone. Oh my God, Comics Zone! Fucking hell! A movie of The Division. We've got Five Nights at Freddy's movie. We've got a Duke Nukem movie. I bet that'll go down well. Gravity Rush movie, Grounded animated series, Splinter Cell anime. Can't make a fucking game, but they'll make an anime of it. Jack and Daxter movie. There we go. That's all I've got.
Splinter Cell peaked at what was the one?
Peaked.
It peaked at not Pandora Tomorrow. It was the one that was released just before that. Which just bugs me now because I can't fucking remember which one it was. But it was definitely the best
Rogue
one.
Agent.
No, not that one. It was video games. Tom Spanner. It was Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory was the best one.
Oh, that was on
That
like
was-
the original PlayStation, wasn't it?
Chaos Theory was what was it released on? It was N-Gage, PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, Nintendo DS, 3DS, PlayStation 3. It's fucking marvelous. Like even today, like it still stands up, and the graphics are phenomenal. Like even by today's standards, as a stealth 'em up, it's really very good. They've never beaten it. Never beaten it. It's
I should
always
play
that
it a bit
all.
more then.
Yeah, Chaos Theory, man. Chaos Theory. It's tremendous. Racked up a lot of hours on that.
Glenn Powell, who plays Hangman in Top Gun, is currently writing Captain Planet movie.
Wow.
Turn you all into fucking trees.
It's funny you mentioned that because also Don Cheadle reveals why he almost walked out of filming Funny or Die's Captain Planet parody. So I'm sitting down in makeup chair, and this is on comicbook.com, and they start to come up with this blue face paint. I was like, what's that? They're like, well, it's Captain Planet. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Cheadle recalled, and they're like, well, this is how Captain Planet looks. And 1 second. And they're like, well, this is how Captain Planet looks. Showed me a picture, and I was like, that's ridiculous. I don't want to do it. I almost left and don't know how they talked me into doing it. Somebody talked me into doing it. So I did it and immediately regretted it after I did it. But then I saw it, it made me laugh. I thought it was pretty funny, and now it's ridiculous how many people talk about that character. Hilariously, if I went up to Don Cheadle, that would be the one thing I would mention to him. Turn you all into fucking
Motherfucking trees. I mean, it's just the way he long range turns those people on a mountain, like far away from him, into trees. Poof.
While we're talking about Glenn Powell, because I now just all I do is read Glenn Powell news. Top Gun Mavericks Glenn Powell addresses Marvel and DC fan casts. It says takes time to navigate this town. Powell says so. For anyone to be like, oh, he'd be great in this role, it's humbling. It's great. I don't know who'd be doing that. Me, and he should play fucking Gambit.
How many
saying it now.
DMs have you sent him, Dan?
I lost count. Just look
Without
at them,
your
Glenn.
willy.
Just look at. I can't promise that. Marvel Studios execs revealed 2 X-Men mutants that could be huge in MCU.
Oh, hang on. Juggernaut, he was quite big.
Juggernaut, bitch.
Sorry,
So 2 very powerful members of the X-Men are going to be making their way to Marvel Cinematic Universe before long in a lengthy new podcast appearance with Deadline. Storm and Bishop have a potentially large future in the MCU. Cool with that. I like both of those. There is an Xbox Developer Direct event happening on January 25th. A presentation will centre around Minecraft Legends, Redfall, Elder Scrolls Online, and highly anticipated Forza Motorsport.
Anticipated.
Skull and Bones, shockingly, has been delayed again.
I mean, I can't believe I'm hearing that, but I sort of can believe I'm hearing it.
It's that pirate game that they want, that Ubisoft want to release, even though now Sea of Thieves has been out for, what, 3 years? Maybe 4 years?
I mean, meanwhile, Starfield is, you know, in terms of like, you know, time it seems to be just around the corner, which I'm genuinely excited about.
I think it is genuinely just around the corner as well. Yeah, that's one of the things I've mentioned. I think that's going to get mentioned soon as to when we're going to get that, and I'm quite excited about that.
A canny wait, man.
Canny wait, man. Mandalorian's Giancarlo Esposito shares why he wants to play Professor Xavier.
What were his reasons?
I love what Marvel does. I love that the fans can see me in the universe and are proposing not only one character, possibly Magneto, possibly Dr. Freeze. Not Marvel, is it though? And the biggest ask is Charles Xavier. But he wants to play a good guy, he says. Sorry, Giancarlo. I don't think that's in your future. You won't play such a good bad guy, unfortunately. PlayStation getting on PlayStation Plus, getting some new games. Life is Strange.
Fuck you, PlayStation.
Back for Blood, Dragon Ball Fighters Z, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Life is Strange, Sayonara Wild Hearts, which I fucking love, Jet the Far Shore, Just Cause 4 Reloaded, Just Cause 4, Omno, and Erica.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
good to see them catching up, isn't it?
Yeah, those are all games that have been out on Game Pass. Yeah.
My neighbours that I spent New Year with, they're all PlayStation. So sharing TMTOH attitude went down a treat.
Fuck you, PlayStation.
Fuck you, PlayStation.
And they've even listened to the podcast.
But I mean, like, we're fair. Like, we wouldn't
Fuck
say
you and
these
your
things
PlayStation.
if it was, you know, not shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, if you saw the cool shed thing they've got in their back garden,
Yeah, that's
it's not
true.
a shed. It's got a fire pit in the inside. It's very toasty.
That's very true. Yeah, you're not wrong. I'll take it back.
I mean, not the fuck you, PlayStation.
No, don't take that.
I take it all back.
The problem we've got is, and I'm well aware I was meant to start a Gridiron Gentleman podcast about 5 minutes ago. The problem we've got is that consoles, I think more and more PC games might move to consoles because graphics cards are too expensive.
Yeah, and the difference is getting less.
Yeah.
It used to be if you want to do this seriously, you have to do it on PC, and it's not really the case anymore.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, modern consoles are the great leveler.
Yeah, they're so cheap as well. So like you can get a console like the Xbox graphics card's the equivalent of like a 3080 or something silly like that apparently.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I understand there's things PCs can do that consoles can't. I'm well aware of that. But at the same time, if you want something that literally just plays games and looks pretty doing it, you can understand
Switch.
why. There you go, the Switch.
Which today we took out. So we, the automotive company that I work for, we did a TikTok today where we took an electric car, the Honda E out, which has a built-in plug socket.
The Honda Eat-Out.
The Honda E. We took the Honda E out. It has a plug socket in it, and we plugged the Nintendo Switch into it and played Mario Kart on its. Basically, because the dashboard is just a great big screen, played Mario Kart on the screen. It was awesome. Although we were basically just a bunch of dudes sitting in a small, tiny car in a rainy car park playing Mario Kart.
Nice.
Good times. I think the TikTok will be out in a few days, so I'll send it to you when it's out. But
I'm just going to be following you. I'm following you now.
Vanarama.
Vanarama.
Oh shit! Sorry. Oh.
They might not be able to break that code there, Tom.
No, but to be fair though, I look like this, and if you look at the reviews, I look like this. So
yeah, true.
like
you're not wearing your mask.
no, There's no mask. Yeah, I'm like the masked magician, aren't I? Like a high-ranking member of the Magic Circle reveals how to do the tricks that David Copperfield doesn't want you to know about.
Also, your voice there reminded me that we've been catching up on the latest series of What We Do in the Shadows, and it is cocking
It's good,
brilliant.
right? It's really good. Like it's
New York City.
New York City.
We need to catch up on what we do in the. We need to catch up on a lot of things, but yeah, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, this latest series is just incredible.
It's really good.
I saw this.
Do you think it'd be suitable for a 4-year-old?
No,
No, not even slightly.
I saw this TikTok today where Matt Berry was being interviewed, and this guy said, "How did you come up with the voice that you use?" And he just went, "Well, to me, it sounds shit because I hear my own voice doing it, and I'm just doing a silly voice. Whereas I then listen to it back, and I'm like, that sounds amazing."
Guys, I got to go because I've got to talk playoffs and
Yeah, we better
coaching
wrap this
firings.
bit up.
and,
All right, let's wrap it
and
up.
Other things.
So there you go.
You're newsed
There's
off.
there's all the news that we're prepared to do right now because life takes over and Dan has other stuff to do. All right. So this was his format, his favorite format, so he can fucking end it when he wants
Yeah,
to.
deal with it.
Okay, you've got your news. So just for a moment, just bear with us while I just say that if you want to share any of your news, views, and opinions, please do so on our social media channels. Use the handle at TMTOOH on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Although on Facebook, it's facebook.com/TMTOOH. On Instagram, you'll find a link in our bio to our Discord server where you can have a little chat-a-rooney dooney with us sometimes, and mostly other people who follow us around. Thank you, all 5 of you.
Not
And-
follow us around.
Well, no, they just
maybe,
end up
some of
talking
them.
to themselves and arguing about films. And Dan, I'm sure there's pods going up because you're taking a very sort of, I think, good, strong, proactive attitude of just like, I'm going to top and tail these mothers and I'm going to get them uploaded. What
Tomorrow,
have we
yeah. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
All of them tomorrow.
got tomorrow? All of them, all the pods, all
Always
of them, they're going to
tomorrow.
hit there. All of them, even the ones we
Top-and-tailing
haven't
is one of
recorded
his favourite sexual positions.
yet. Yes.
Okay, time to go.
Well, and then on that note, we're going to say goodbye, Russ.
Laters.
Goodbye, Dan.
I'd take anything right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm starving.
I'm joking. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Goodbye to Duncan.
Cherry bars.
Jerry Byers. And it's goodbye from me, Tom. And on that note, Russ, please, Mr. Music, cue the music.